is my real test. To train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah.
Okay, enough of that nonsense. It's time for Bad Girls Video Game Review. This time around, I will be reviewing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity. Now, I have been following the Mystery Dungeon series since its beginning as Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue. Now, I gotta say that the 3D graphics is definitely a welcome change. I mean, it's about time, because we technically had the technology to make a 3D Mystery Dungeon since the DS came out, but it never happened until the 3DS. But better late than never, I suppose. The very first thing you will notice is that there's no stupid quiz at the beginning. You just outright pick which Pokemon you want to be. And I think that is awesome, because I know, and you know, and everybody else that's ever played a previous Mystery Dungeon game knows that they never go with the Pokemon they are given by the fucking quiz. They go on the internet and look it up and make sure they get the Pokemon they want. Now, just in case you're wondering, in my game, I'm a Pig, and my partner is Axu. The layout of each dungeon is exactly the same as previous games. You don't know where the fuck you're going until you've already been there and the map forms, and eventually you get the hang of it and you find the stairs. Pokemon are trying to rape you around every corner, so make sure you're ready for them. As for the controls, forget everything you know, because they've been totally redone for this game. There's a menu on the bottom screen, and you have to utilize that to get through the game. None of this L and R bullshit anymore. Now, as far as the story goes, it can get pretty emotional. Not quite as emotional as the story of Explorers of Time, Darkness, and Sky, but you might shed a few tears if you got a little soft spot for sacrificial stuff. Now, what I want to know is, how come Gates to Infinity didn't have any hype at all? I mean, for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue, and then Explorers of Time, Darkness, and Sky, they were announced over a year in advance, and people got really excited about their release. And then one day, I was just talking to my friends, and I was like, I wonder when they're going to make another Mystery Dungeon. And they're like, it's already out, Christina. I'm like, what? And I look it up, and sure as shit, Gates to Infinity had already come out. I'm like, where was the hype? Where was the excitement? Where was the anticipation? It was non-existent. I guess it's been completely overshadowed by Pokemon X and Y, which is understandable, I guess. But Gates to Infinity definitely deserves a look, and at least a little bit of credit. A new feature to Gates of Infinity that the previous Mystery Dungeons did not have is the addition of the Magna Gate, which utilizes the 3DS camera. You look around your room and try to find a perfectly round object, and it opens a portal into the next dungeon. However, this can be a little bit tricky because it is very, very picky as to what it will recognize as an object that can activate the portal. So you may be looking around the room for a while before you finally get something that'll work. So all in all, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity is exactly like all the Mystery Dungeons before it, with some new graphics and a few little extras and good stuff thrown in. Whether or not I recommend it really comes down to if you've enjoyed the previous Mystery Dungeons. If you fucking love the previous Mystery Dungeons, you will fucking love Gates to Infinity. But if you didn't really care too much about Mystery Dungeon, this one's not going to change that. All in all, Bad Girls Bitch Blog gives Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Gates to Infinity for the Nintendo 3DS a 7.5 out of 10. This has been Bad Girls Video Game Reviews. Catch 'em all, motherfuckers. Salute!